Hi, Professor Wainaina here, your 5 minute teacher on education, childhood and youth, and all things school. Welcome. In today's digital age, managing screen time for children is a challenge that many parents are facing. While it may seem tempting to lock away gadgets to enforce limits, this approach can create tension, resentment, and fails to teach essential life skills such as self-regulation, respect for rules, and finding creative alternatives. For parents, instead of resorting to such drastic and largely ineffective measures, you can adopt strategies to set boundaries that encourage healthy habits and foster mutual respect. The foundation of setting boundaries begins with open and honest communication. Engage in a calm conversation with your child about the importance of balanced screen time. Explain how excessive screen time can impact their health, academic performance, social interactions, and other things. When children understand the reasons behind the rules, they are more likely to respect them. You will soon find that a negotiated settlement is better than a forced one. Like they say, a bad settlement is better than a good case. Also, involve your child in rule making. Children are more likely to follow rules they have helped create. Involve your child in the process of setting screen time limits, discuss and negotiate reasonable boundaries together. By giving your child a voice in the decision-making process, you empower them to make ownership of the rules. But consistency is key when it comes to enforcing screen time rules. Once you and your child have agreed on the boundaries, make sure they are clearly defined and consistently enforced. Enforcement is your responsibility. But nothing beats a good example. Your child will often emulate your behavior. Demonstrate healthy screen time habits by modeling the behavior you want to see in your child. Limit your own screen time, especially during family interactions, and engage in alternative activities, such as reading, outdoor play, or other games. When children see you practice what you preach, they are more likely to follow suit. I am often hesitant to recommend that you encourage your child to engage in alternative activities as a solution to screen time, and I'll tell you why. You should encourage them to take on alternative activities after you have solved the screen time issue. This means that boundaries set for screen time are enforced whether they have an alternative activity or not. That way, the violation of these boundaries will not be justified by, I have nothing else to do. They will understand that if they have nothing else to do, they should do nothing. Screen is not an alternative for nothing to do. More importantly, do not panic. When you yell and go ballistic, your child reads it as lack of control, and it is. Addressing rule violations calmly is critical, and yes, there will be rule violations unless you are running a military camp and not a home. Instead of reacting with anger or punishment, discuss the violation with your child and remind them of the agreed upon rules. Encourage them to reflect on their actions and understand their consequences. Make them compensate for violations by foregoing scheduled screen time. It is a fair trade-off. There are people who advocate for a family media plan, I am not a big fan. My concern with this is that electronics needs and use for members of a family may be very different from each member, even among the kids. I personally think that blanket family media plans fail because they disregard these differentiated needs. But if you have successfully used a family media plan to regulate your children's use of electronics, let me know in the comments below. The point of this lesson is that locking away gadgets is not the solution to managing screen time for your child. By fostering open communication, involving children in rule-making, setting consistent boundaries, modeling healthy habits, encouraging alternative activities, and using positive reinforcement, you can create a balanced approach to screen time. This not only helps children develop self-regulation and respect for rules, but also promotes their overall well-being. As parents, our goal is to guide our children towards healthy and balanced lives. And setting thoughtful boundaries around screen time is an essential part of that journey. Thank you for your time. See you in the next lesson.